Good evening, everyone. Myself Dipali Parekh, and today's topic that we are going to study is photosynthesis. So, what is photosynthesis? First, we'll go through the definition of the photosynthesis, that is, the synthesis of organic compounds like carbohydrates or glucose by the cells of green plants in presence of sunlight with the help of CO2 and H2O is called photosynthesis. Now, what are the cells of green plants? This term, cells of green plants, they are chloroplast. Synthesis of organic compound. What is the organic compound here? What is the organic compound? The carbohydrate. Glucose is synthesized. Then further glucose molecules join together and form a polymer that is called starch. Okay. Next, or glucose by the cells of green plants in the presence of sunlight. So sunlight you all know with the help of CO2 and H2O. H2O plants get from underground water. CO2 from air. So again, going deeply into the definition, synthesis of organic compound means synthesis of glucose by the cells of green plants. Cells of green plants mean chloroplast in the presence of sunlight with the help of CO2. From where plants are getting CO2? From air. And from water they are getting? From the roots through the underground water that is present inside the soil is called photosynthesis. So this is the explanation of this definition. What is photosynthesis? Simple synthesis of organic compounds by the cells of chloroplast in presence of sunlight with the help of CO2 and H2O is called photosynthesis. Again, during this process of radiant energy of sunlight is stored in carbohydrates. Now what is the source of energy? Source of energy is sunlight. Now that energy is stored in carbohydrates. Now what is the source of sunlight? Photons. Photons absorbed by the chloroplast cells means they excite the electrons of the chloroplast cells. So this light energy gets converted into chemical energy. We can say light energy gets converted in chemical energy. What is the light energy? The sun. What is the chemical energy? The carbohydrate that plants are making. Because the carbon of CO2 used in this process is assimilated. Assimilated means we are using this CO2. We are assimilating this CO2. It is called carbon assimilation process. CO2 gets reduced to carbohydrate. This is what we are doing in photosynthesis. Not we, plants are doing it. This is what. They are taking the CO2 from the environment, they are reducing it and forming the carbohydrate. And in this whole process, they need energy and they are getting this energy from the sunlight. Clear? Now moving to another slide. Now this is the generalized definition of CO2. Oh, photosynthesis. Now see, the mechanism of photosynthesis can be represented by the following simple reaction. So this reaction is called the reaction of photosynthesis. Okay. Here 6 molecules of CO2, 6 molecules of water molecules are giving 6 moles of carbohydrate. You can call it glucose. And this oxygen is the byproduct of this reaction. But this is not product for us. This is very useful gas for us. Very useful product for us. But this is the byproduct of reaction. We are getting this oxygen from the plants. That is why we say we get oxygen from the plants, because oxygen during the process of photosynthesis is the byproduct of photosynthesis. Now what are this is just the balancing, that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water are used, and hence they are making this 1 molecule of glucose. Means just to reduce Just to make one molecule of glucose, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water are used. Now, this is done in presence of sunlight. We can say sunlight like this, means light. Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll are the green cells of plant. Why we are saying chloroplast as a cell? Why we are not saying it as a cell organelle? Because chloroplasts are having their own DNA. Chloroplast and mitochondria. These two are the cell organelles. They contain their own DNA. This is the endosymbiotic theory of cell organelles. They are in prokaryotic cells. They are like prokaryotic cells because they carry their own ribosomes and they carry their own DNA. So hence they can synthesize their own DNA, means they are doing their replication, transcription and protein synthesis. So we consider them as prokaryotic cells because they are having the ribosomes of prokaryotic cells. That is why here using green cells of plants. Otherwise, chloroplast is a cell organelle. Now, in this whole reaction, see, this is a reaction. Now this water oxygen that is coming, earlier it was believed that this oxygen is coming from carbon dioxide, but it is not true. This oxygen is coming from this water molecule. So this was in earlier, this was assumed. People used to believe that this oxygen is coming from this carbon dioxide molecule. No, this is not true. This is actually coming from the water molecule. This oxygen is coming. Now, this was proved by the scientist called Rubin and Kaman. And there one more scientist, Hashid. Name is not written. I don't know why people don't read the name. Because the assistants are also equal in working in the research. Reuben, Hashid and Kaman. They demonstrated this experiment was in 1942 when our India was fighting for the Quit India movement and they were doing the experiments. They were proving the things. They demonstrated that the evolution of O2 in this process takes place by the oxidation of dissociation of water molecules. Means this is coming from the water molecules. Therefore, correct reaction of photosynthesis is this. So this is the correct equation for photosynthesis. 6 moles of carbon dioxide, 12 molecules of water molecules and 1 molecule. And they are giving 6 molecules of water molecule as it is and 6 molecules of carbon dioxide. So this is the correct equation of photosynthesis. Now, what are the important facts? There are some of the facts are very important for the photosynthesis. See, because 6 molecules of water are insufficient for the evolution of 6 molecules of oxygen. Therefore, more molecules of water have to be shown in the experiment. In the equation, at least 12 molecules of water for the formation of 1 hexose sugar. What is 1 hexose sugar? 6 carbon containing sugar. So, we are using it as a glucose. This is the formula of glucose. 1 hexose sugar. This is a monosaccharide. Okay. So at least 12 molecules of water for the formation of 1 hexose sugar. Therefore, more molecules of water. So how many molecules of water? In spite of earlier in the photosynthesis equation, 6H2O were used. But this is not right. At least 12 moles of H2O are used. See in the previous slide. Here 12 moles of H2O are used because 6 molecules are coming and 6 molecules of to make 6 molecules of oxygen, 12 molecules of water are required. From where the raw materials are derived from plants for photosynthesis. Now coming towards the raw material. Now what are the raw materials? And from where the plants are deriving their raw material for the photosynthesis. This is important to know. Terrestrial plants obtain CO2 from the atmosphere. What are the terrestrial plants? Land plants. Land plants. Plants that are grown on the land. And it is available like in our air, the CO2 composition is 0.03% through stomata of leaf. Now from where they are entering into the leaf? Through the stomata of the leaf. Water is coming from the root. So first thing is CO2, second water that is coming from the roots and light from the sun. Third part is light. Light we are getting from the sun. The chlorophyll is found in the chloroplast of leaves. Fourth is chlorophyll. It is present in the chloroplast of leaf. Now see, this is important to know. Aquatic plants, very very important. Aquatic plants obtain CO2 from water, where it is dissolved in 0.3 percentage. Here the percentage of CO2 is larger, is greater than the percentage in the atmosphere. For the land plants, land plants are having less amount of CO2 available, although water plants are having 0.3 percentage of CO2. That is why 90% of photosynthesis is done by aquatic plants. Done by aquatic means 90% is done by algae. Why? See, not only one factor, one more factor. 70% of our earth is water. So more area available. Land plants are less in number as compared to aquatic plants. And aquatic plants are having more available CO2 in the dissolved form. Now, what is photosynthesis? Again, process in which light energy is used to reduce CO2 to organic compounds occurs in chloroplast in higher plants and algae. And this process is called photosynthesis because this is only present in higher plants and in algae. Oh, not all algae, only the green and blue algae. The conversion of light energy to chemical energy by photosynthetic pigments using water and CO2 and producing carbohydrates. This is nothing, this is just a definition of photosynthesis in different language. Use whatever language suits you, whatever is easier for you, just remember that. Process by which green plants manufacture complex carbonaceous substances from CO2 and water in presence of solar energy and chlorophyll, O2 being the end product. One more definition for photosynthesis. Now, this is the equation, and this is very important to know. This is very important. This is the equation of photosynthesis. This everything, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 12 molecules of H2O in presence of light, giving 6 molecules, 6 carbon sugar, that is hexose sugar we use it. I know glucose is formed, giving 6 moles of water molecule, 6 molecules of oxygen. And this oxygen is the end product of the reaction, but very useful product for animals, living things, because they are respiring, they need oxygen for the respiration. Now what are the raw materials? See, water is the raw material. So hydrogen donor is water. First important thing, who is donating hydrogen? Who is donating hydrogen in the reaction? Because to reduce anything, hydrogen is required in reaction. Water. Answer is water is the hydrogen donor. Water splits into H plus and OH minus. So here the water splitting is, you can see 4 molecules of hydroxyl and 4 molecules of hydrogen ions. These hydroxyl molecules, they again break down into 2 molecules of water molecules and they give 4 electrons plus oxygen. So oxygen is given by the water molecule, what Ruman, Hashid and Kaman proved. So this is, oxygen is formed in the hydrogen, means your water hydrolysis. This 2-NADP, when binds with these 4 hydrogen molecules, it makes 2-NADPH and 2 hydrogen ions available. These NADPH are the raw material for photosynthesis, or you can say raw material for C3 cycle, because these are made in light reactions. Light reactions basically making this NADPH and ATP, and these NADPH or ATP are used in the Kelvin cycle. This we will understand in our later slides. Now what is the light? how light is affecting the reaction, how light is making the reaction to happen. Visible part of electromagnetic radiation occurs between the range of this. This is the range where visible light is there, and this is the range in which photosynthesis is taking place. So 1 micrometer, or you can say 10 to the power minus 9 meter or nanometer, or 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. Wavelengths shorter than 390 micrometer are called ultraviolet rays. So we don't need UV rays for photosynthesis. UV rays not required. What is required? Wavelengths longer than 760, and these are called IR rays. We don't need. IR rays not required. Beyond this are electric and radio waves. These are measured in kilometers. You know about electric and radio waves on which your radio are functioning. These are not required. So what is required? Only the visible part of electromagnetic radiation, that is in the range of this. So this is the range. This is the range 390 to 760 micrometer. This is the range. It is required range for photosynthesis, and in this range all the pigments of photosynthesis are absorbing the light, means they absorb in this range only. So this is about the photosynthesis. That's an outline of photosynthesis. In our coming slides we will study about the light reactions, about the dark reactions. What are two kinds of light reactions? Dark reactions, H and Slack cycle, and CAM cycles. So bye bye for now. See you in our next class.